Alright guys, pretty much wrapped up this 1967 John Deere 110 diesel conversion. Came out pretty good. I'm going to throw the slides together first, and then if you make it to the end of the video, there's going to be a walk around kind of explaining all what had to be done to make this engine work. So it's a Chinese diesel 10 horse, replaced an 8 horse gas engine that was originally in it. Trying to make it again like my 300, if you have seen the videos. Try to make it look as factory as possible without modifying any of the main body parts, body panels on the tractor. The only thing I had to cut was this guy as far as modifying the existing tin on the tractor. So came out good, and stick around, and at the end I'll give you a close-up detail of everything I did. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
I was able to get the throttle cables hooked up today, the decompression cable. I'm gonna throw another support down here because if that vibrates loose, this guy will start moving on me. But throttle cable's set for the diesel, and then the decompression, so you don't have to open the hood. And then once you get the engine spinning faster, push that back, and we should be good. The belts are coming along. I don't know if this guy is going to be tight enough. I think I'm going to have to get a little bit tighter belt here. So it's coming along. Diesel engine in the 110. All right, one of the other challenges I got going on here is I want to put this belt guard back on, and you can see now, because this engine's a little bigger, sits a little further forward, crankshaft does, and a little bit higher. So I'm gonna have to modify this, and I'd like it to look original, so that's the next challenge. Okay, this was the first test drive just to make sure the belts were okay, the throttle cable worked, and just kind of putting it through its paces was successful. This was my mock-up with cardboard for this belt guard. I wanted to make it look as original as possible. So mocked it up with cardboard, and I went ahead and had a piece of pre-bent steel. I was able to basically freehand cut it out with a grinder, and really happy with the way it turned out. guys, it's officially done. I'm going to give you a quick walk around and explanation of how all this came to be, and maybe it'll inspire you to do it, or maybe not. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I probably have about 3 weekends worth of work and some, you know, during the week, pittering with stuff here and there. But I don't know, probably 35 hours, I'd say, in labor putting this thing in, and then I enjoyed it. I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff. So hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Here's the walk around. All right, so well, 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, one of my neighbors is into John Deere stuff, and we started talking, and one thing led to another. I told him I had this diesel. He had this 91, 92 318, and worked out a deal. I give him the 10 horse diesel and all the labor to make this tractor functional again and look respectable. So here's what we did. So first thing, obviously you guys probably noticed, that's the original belt guard off the 8 horse Kohler, and threw it on there just to kind of give it that nostalgic look. I think it kind of gives it a neat little look. On this side, I had to make a new belt cover. The old one, with the engine being an inch higher and an inch forward, the crankshaft, obviously the old belt guard wouldn't work, plus it was a different angle. So I ended up fabricating that. The muffler, that was on here, so we just utilized that, made a manifold. He's got the option to put a stack on if he wants. So we did it this way for now. Had to put a support bracket down to the block there. Original gas tank fit. Rewired it. Everything I did is all soldered, fused, crimped. It's definitely done the right way. The intake manifold was a little bit of a challenge because he did not want to cut the hood, neither did I. So I ended up making this rectangle stock 90 to be able to move the air cleaner around to this front of the engine, so now the hood clears it, and with no issues. Another thing I ended up doing, I had to drill into the tank, and this is for the fuel injector bleed off excess fuel. I did not do that on my 300, and I get little drips of fuel diesel every so often. So this one I plumbed into the tank for the return line. So another thing I ended up doing is I utilized the choke lever for the decompression for when you're cranking it, and you don't have to open the hood, reach under and hold it. I did that on my 300 with the diesel there. And then the throttle cable is the original one I was able to reuse, and it was long enough. I brought it down. I changed my mounting idea for the cable. Instead of having that little arm and coming up with another bracket, I just drilled and bolted it with the original cable clamp there. Drilled and tapped that guy for the original cable clamp for the old choke cable. What else did I do on this thing? The engine was able to set right in there. I did have to drill 4 new mounting bolts. You did see the pulley had to be machined to slip over the bigger crank in the back. Keyways still lined up. I was able to utilize that. He had me throw some new tires on it for him. But overall, it was a pretty easy install. Not too sure about this lithium battery. He wanted to try it. It seems to do okay. So we'll see how that does. But overall, it was a fun project for me, and everything seemed to fit and came out exactly how I had envisioned it. It was kind of on-the-go engineering with a lot of this stuff. Belt size had to be changed. Those are 31-inch belts for the PTO. I believe I had to go to a 38-inch belt for the drive belt back to the variator. But all in all, it's really about it. A voltage regulator fit, tight clearance, but it's not like that's spinning. It's just the part of the steering. Another thing I think I pointed out in the beginning is I had to cut this hood support to clear the flywheel cover on the engine, and I think it come out pretty good. It reveals not too bad on it. All right, well, let's take this guy for a little test drive. You can see how it runs. It's pretty cold. I think it's in the 20s here in Illinois today, so it won't be a real long ride. We'll give it a go. One other thing I wanted to point out. For some reason, I don't know, tractor's running away from me. I had to remove the original shutoff, and I don't understand why. I cleaned it up, I blew it out. It just wouldn't allow the diesel to flow down to that pump. I mean, multiple times I would disconnect it, plug it back into the fuel pump, there's no air in it, and it would start and die out. And finally, I did put a remote tank on there, and it fired up and it ran on that. So I took that valve out, and it's been fine ever since. Again, with this one here, with that injector sitting as high as it is, you never have to worry about fuel leaking through like on a gas engine. So, all right, let's take it for a ride. Have a good day.